Hi, I'm Kep Kepner, CPA here in Dallas. We're talking about how you move from being an I business, which is a business that is centered around you, the owner. You have to be there for it to operate. To growing your business to where your business can grow in value without you being there every day. And it's kind of like an asset that you can sell to somebody else. So making that transition from an I business to a business that you can sell takes some specific tests. And we've been, so blah, 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 blah. So making that transition from an I business to a business that you can sell requires going through some very specific steps to make sure, I still don't like to say that right, blah, blah, blah. So to make that transition from an I business to a business that you can sell requires taking some very specific tests. God, I can't say steps tonight. Steps. Da, 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 da. Steps. Steps. Okay. Making the transition from an I business to a business that you can sell requires taking some very specific steps. If you don't do it right, then the bottom line is you're going to be less successful at making that transition. Today we're talking about employees. We've talked about delegating, documenting what they would do. We've talked about using contractors to help you. But how do you find the right employee? Well, let me tell you what we do. We test the candidates who come to work for us. First thing we want to know is if they're smart enough and if they follow instructions. We want to know that they can do that. We want to know that they will get results. And we can test that very easily. So we first test our applicants and make sure that they have that right mix about them. After we test that, we test their work habits. We test their, not so much their character, but their operational abilities. We want to know that they're going to fit in with our small company. And it doesn't help us to get somebody in here who's going to be in conflict with the rest of us who work here. We want somebody who wants to grow, who wants to be part of our team. Well, you as a business owner should want that too. So you should test people and be slow to hire, but also be quick to fire. If somebody isn't working out, then they're not in the right place for you or for themselves. And sometimes that's really hard to do. I love to hire people, and I don't like to fire people. But as I've been more experienced in business, I've learned that if somebody doesn't fit in, you're doing a really great service for the rest of the people in your company and for the person that's not performing to tell them to go find something else. The other day, I had a recruiter call me about somebody that used to work for me. And he really didn't do a good job for me, but I think he was a good person. So my answer was, he just didn't fit in here. So in that case, he needs to find where he fits in. And it wasn't here, and so we let him go, but I still think he's a good guy. Just means he wasn't good for us. So when you're hiring somebody, hire somebody that's good for you. You've documented what they're going to do so you can give them work to do. If you've tested them and you know that they're a performer, that they get results, that they're smart enough, then you have some confidence that you're going to get production out of them. And then just like we talked about for your company setting targets, you have to set targets for that employee. We expect you to do this much in this much time. Whether it's a sales person and you say we expect 50,000 of sales in the next 6 months or whatever the number is, you have to set the target. Then you have to measure it just like you have to measure your company. And that's how you know that you have somebody of good character who has good performance built into the way they operate. They're of good mind and a team player, and they're smart enough, and then they perform, you've got yourself a winner. And that's the kind of person that you have to build a company that can live and operate and grow in value apart from you, the owner. So if you want help in this area, give us a call. Thanks.